Hey everyone, it's me, Marty. Okay, sorry, I'm kind of in a weird angle here. Here, I'll go like this. Okay, so I'm in my truck. I'm still trucking. Yeah, I've been out for 2 weeks now. Well, so it's Saturday morning, January 9th, about 11 o'clock in the morning. I am in, where am I? Pleasant Prairie, Wisconsin, close to Kenosha. I'm waiting to get in a door to get loaded, so I might have to pause this video. Well, you won't know it because I'll probably clip it out or edit it out if I get a phone call. Maybe. A lot of times I forget to edit. Most of the time I forget to edit. But it's all part of the fun. You know, it's part of the fun. Anyway, waiting to get in the door here to load and go back to Minnesota and probably be home Monday and probably stay home all week. I've been out for 2 weeks, so I'll probably stay home for a week. Anyway, so yeah, you know, when I'm on the road and I have downtime, I make the best use of my time. You know, read and you know, carve spoons and you know, work on my college work, write. Now I'm learning to play my mandolin, so I'm practicing that, and yeah. Go for a walk or a hike and just enjoy the day. Try to make the most of my time and every day. I haven't carved any spoons for a couple of weeks now, so I'm going to carve a few spoons this morning. The sun is shining. I'm so glad. It's been cloudy for a few days, so I'm glad the sun's out. And a lot of times at the end of the day I want to carve a spoon, but then it's dark and I sit here in the driver's seat and carve, or sit outside if it's nice, but it's usually dark by the time I'm done driving this time of year. So I thought I'd carve a few now. And I thought I'd just do a little video. I know I've done some videos on carving spoons before, but I thought I'd do a new one. Just videotape how I carve them and what I do, and just because I really enjoy my woodworking, and I don't get to do as much woodworking as I want to right now, and so I don't do as many woodworking videos. And I know a lot of you like my woodworking videos. You don't really like my singing videos. And again, I don't have a voice. The reason I'm doing them is just to share my faith, share my life. And, you know, even if it helps you smile or laugh from my singing, and maybe you'll go listen to the real song and be inspired by the song, or like the song or whatever, but it's just for fun. Anyway, but I know a lot of you like my woodworking one, so I'm just going to do a video here. And I haven't figured out a good way. I mean, I watch videos of people, spoon carving videos, and they really videotape them good. I don't know how they do it, how they get a good angle when you're carving, and I'm sitting in the driver's seat of my truck carving, and so, but yeah, I apologize if it doesn't look real good, but yeah, I'll just make a little video here, and probably gonna get a phone call any minute too. So yeah, anyway, here we go. Okay, oh, that's the passenger seat over there. Know what I want to do? I guess I want to keep it down here. Okay, all right. Yeah, and I have a note above where my ignition key is. It says no. It's a yellow post-it, and it says no. I don't know if you can see that. See that? Kind of, sort of. Anyway, trust me, it's a yellow post-it, and it says no. Because my starter went out yesterday, or a couple days ago, and it won't start. I had to pay somebody to come out and start the truck, and then I had to go to a Freightliner dealer and get them to turn my my automatic idle shut off, turn it off, disable it, so the truck's running all the time now. And if I turn it off, it won't start again, so I gotta let it run till I get home, which will be Monday. And then I'll get a new starter put in. But anyway, that's why there's a yellow post-it there. It says no. Yeah, you probably weren't wondering anyway, but I'm just throwing it out there. I need some more coffee. Yeah. Okay. So, yeah, I've done a couple of spoon carving videos before, but I just felt like carving some spoons. I'm probably going to carve like 8 or 10 of them here. But I'll do another video for new viewers or people haven't. And the thing is, I know a lot of people who watch YouTube, and I do too. You don't realize that you can go back and watch older videos. I have over this is my 367th video, I think. It's crazy. And they're all just me rambling and sharing my life. And I made playlists of all the different things I do, the different kinds of videos. So if you want to watch just woodworking, go to my woodworking playlist. It's all my woodworking videos, scroll sign and spoon carving and sign making and cutting boards and just hanging out in my shop and being a goof. You can watch those ones. If you want to watch just my hiking videos, there's a whole playlist, just all my hiking videos, which is getting to be a lot because I go for a hike whenever I can anywhere in the country. My favorite hikes are with my wife at home. But there's a whole playlist of hiking, so you can watch those and just, all different things, trucking and teaching and singing and now playing my mandolin. I gotta make a playlist for that. And yeah, just family stuff and doing stuff at home and plowing snow in our driveway and me just doing goofy stuff to help you smile. So I have tons of videos. Go back and watch my older videos. And there's playlists if you want to watch just a certain kind. Again, my channel is just me rambling, sharing my life. I like to encourage, inspire, and help people smile, and I hope I can do that for y'all. Anyway, okay, so how I carve spoons. And okay, so I do all kinds of woodworking. I'm going to kind of just start from the beginning because a lot of you might be new, or maybe you've been watching and you want to hear me ramble again. I'd put the camera back on my face, but nah, you'd rather probably look at a wood spoon. Isn't that pretty? It's not even started yet, really. Well, it started, but anyway, okay. So I do all kinds of woodworking, and I started out, scroll sign, and I still love scroll sign. I do a lot of that. And I started carving signs, hand routing signs with a router, and then making cutting boards, and making American flags, and making trinket boxes, and games, and brain teasers, and just all kinds of different things out of wood. Mostly small stuff, mostly, crafty type stuff. I've made Adirondack chairs in the past and some shelves and some custom things, but I can't do big things or custom furniture or that kind of thing, but mostly crafty things, small things. And I sell stuff here and there, but that's really hard nowadays. I wish I could, but it's really hard and nobody wants to pay. But I give away most everything. But anyway, my most recent thing that I started earlier this year, or actually last winter, is hand carving spoons. And it's pretty much free. I carve them from branches. And I actually learned it by starting to watch hiking videos and bushcrafting videos. And I think actually the first one was Mike Barton and Bushcraft Bartons. He's got a wonderful channel, just a super guy. Bushcrafting and hiking and camping in the woods and stuff, and he carves spoons, and I think his was the first one I seen. And so I'm going to tell you the basic way you do it and how I do it. Okay, so basically you only need a few tools to carve spoons. You need some kind of saw, maybe a little hatchet or machete or an axe or something, and then a hook knife, and then a detail, just a carving knife. And that's it. And then just sandpaper and mineral oil to finish them. And so, yeah, you can just do them out of branches. So basically, cut a branch, and you can do them any size. The thicker you do, the more you can get out of them, because I'll tell you in a minute why, but I actually get more out of one branch than doing it the normal way. Okay, so basically, you cut it. Let's say this is a log. Okay, you cut a log out of a branch, a down tree, or branches or whatever, 2 or 3 inches round in diameter. 6, 8, 10, 12 inches long, whatever. It depends on how big a spoon you want to make. I like to make small, like almost pocket spoons or in coffee scoops and stuff. But yeah, cut off the branch, and then take either a hatchet or a machete. I use a machete because I ended up having one because my wife caught one in a lake fishing. And you take the machete or the axe and trim off all the twigs. Okay? And then what you do is you stand up, and sorry I don't have one here, but let's say this is a table or a log. I have a log sitting on the front deck of my shop. I'm sure you've seen that. And I use that to split my logs. So anyway, you take that log and you put it like this, and then you set the machete on top of it, or the axe, and then you take another log and you hit it, and it splits the log. It's called batoning. So you split the log, then you have 2 halves of the log, and then you draw your spoon. Take 1 half, you can actually get 2 spoons out of it. Draw your spoon, just hand draw it, or you can have templates, whatever. I've made a few templates, but every single spoon I make is unique and different, and that's what's fun. So I just draw them on there. So just draw your spoon on the log. You have like a half log, and then the normal way, what bushcrafters do, people are out in the woods. If you're out in the woods and you're doing this, you're going to carve a spoon. You take your hatchet or your machete and you start chopping the basic shape of the spoon, and then you get it to about like this. Okay, I do it that part of different because I'm a scroll sawer. I just believe, it's okay if you want to just go all, hand tool crazy and do everything with hand tools. That's fine. But I'm like, if you have power tools and you're doing it at home, why not? I scroll saw a lot, and I love a scroll saw, so I'm using my scroll saw in conjunction with my hand carved spoons. So after I get the log split and I draw it on there, then I cut the shape on my scroll saw. So I have it basically the basic shape cut, and then I do everything else by hand. The cool thing about that is when you cut it on the scroll saw, it's so detailed, and then it ends up being this thick, right? Well, or thicker. And you can actually get 2 or 3 or even 4 spoons out of the same basic pattern from a log because you scroll sawed it. Because you cut this, cut it this way, and then you turn it on edge like this, and you run it through the scroll saw, and you can split it this way and get 2 or 3 spoons out of it. So it's just amazing. It's free from logs, from branches, and then if you scroll saw the shapes, because it's a little harder with a hatchet or a machete to try to split this and get more than 1 spoon out of it, but on a scroll saw it's really easy. I got 3 spoons out of the log. I could actually resaw this and get 2 more spoons out of it, because really spoons are thin. Metal spoons are thin. Wood spoons, you want to have them a little bit thicker, but I could still get 2 spoons out of there if I wanted to. So that's what's cool about scroll sawing them. So you can, use different tools and different kinds of woodworking together. So yeah, after cutting it, drying it on the log, then I scroll saw the basic shape, and this is what I end up with. All right, so then you have your spoon like that, and the basic shape is already cut, but there's still lots of work to do, and all the hand carving is still to be done. So this side is really pretty smooth, because that's the part I cut on the scroll saw, and this was the back side that was split kind of. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to actually cut my bowl right here, and the bowl is the part where you eat on a spoon. It's called a bowl. That part of it's not a bowl, it's a spoon, but that part of it's called a bowl. And to do that, you use this. It's called a hook knife, and this is it's Swiss made. I think it's a Mora, and it's basically a straight blade just bent, and it makes it easier to cut that. So I'm going to try to do this so you can see it a little bit better. And it's just tricky, it takes time to learn this, and just take your time. This is the kind of thing that's really fun. I love carving spoons, and I just take my time and have fun with it. So don't really put a lot of pressure and all that stuff with this knife or the other knife, because you could cut yourself. So you just gotta be careful. Just take your time. Never push really hard when you're carving. Just let the knife do the work. The other thing is I have Kevlar gloves on. You don't need to wear gloves. A lot of guys don't wear gloves when they carve, but I like to. Why risk getting the cut? It helps me grip everything, and I don't know. I'd rather not get cut, and accidents happen. So, but yeah. So basically, you could draw, a little outline there if you wanted to, but I don't anymore. I've done so many spoons now. I've done about 100 spoons or more, and I'm just gonna start to cut, and I'm just gonna start lightly. Just make a little perimeter. You want to make sure your knife is sharp. And again, this is a really cheap hobby. It's a really cheap, fun form of woodworking, because you can do it anywhere. It's pretty much free. You just get branches and twigs in your yard or the woods or wherever you are. This knife, I think this was about 40. You can even get them cheaper. And then I have a Mora, a straight cutting knife. This was 15 bucks. I've made like over 100 spoons. I've never sharpened it. I use a strop, a leather strop with a compound before every spoon I carve. I'm always stropping it. And on this, and they're both razor sharp still, and I've cut over 100 spoons with them. About 40 bucks and about 15 bucks. Seriously. And you can spend 50 bucks, 100 bucks, 500 bucks on a knife, but this is 15 bucks, and it's an amazing knife. It just cuts razor sharp, and it's got a good grip. It's just plastic, nothing fancy, but it looks nice, and so I actually got a couple extra ones. They're so cheap. But I'm still on my first one, and it's been like a year. So yeah, you don't have to spend a lot to do this. So it's a cheap form of woodworking. You can do it free. You can do it anywhere. I'm sitting here in my truck carving spoons, and yeah, I get shavings on the floor, but I just sweep it out because there's nowhere to do it outside right now. I'm actually in a lot here, but sometimes I do it outside. I set up a chair outside and do it. At home, I'll do it in the shop or on my deck, our deck. I'll just sit out there and carve spoons. I just love it. And it's relaxing. So I'll see how I'm doing. I kind of put the knife where I want it, and then I'm using my other hand to just kind of push it. I'm kind of turning it in a little bit and just kind of use my thumb I'm holding it with my right hand and pushing with my left hand thumb. Kind of, and again, you don't have to use a lot of pressure because then you can slip and cut yourself, and you got to be careful too, you know, when you're doing something like this. You don't want to slip and hit your chest or your stomach, or definitely don't hit your leg or between, or you got veins in your legs that if you hit that, you could be dead in minutes if you start bleeding. So be careful. I want to eventually get some kind of leather apron to wear when I'm carving, but you can put a scrap piece of carpet or anything down. But yeah, just be careful. Take your time, enjoy it. This is a really fun, relaxing form of woodworking. Every single spoon I carve is different, and I'm still learning, but I just love it. Okay, so basically, come on, focus. Kind of, sort of. Is it focusing? Kind of. I just got a perimeter. I haven't pulled out the middle yet, but I just got a kind of a perimeter. And now kind of start taking more out and get the middle part out. And a couple things I've learned carving. I carve everything dry wood. And I know a lot of people don't. They carve it wet or green or whatever you call it. But to me, that's like carving a piece of celery. It's very hard to carve. It's not fun. And it can change. It's got to dry out. So you carve a spoon out of wet wood, and then it's got to dry out. Or anything. It can crack, it can warp, it can twist, and then you ruined it. If you wait till it's dry, it's already dry. It's not going to change. I don't know. I might be the only one in the world doing this with dry wood, but I love it. I have two pretty cheap knives, but they're razor sharp and cut through it like butter. So why not do dry wood? So yeah, just my opinion, but do what you want and watch other videos. Again, I'm just a putz. I am just learning as I go and sharing what I know. I think it's a good idea. But you decide the way you want to do it, and watch other videos of professionals. And so yeah, this is dry wood. What I do is I just cut branches, and I have a whole bunch of branches sitting on my workbench in my shop. You've probably seen that in my other videos. Watch my other videos. And this is a piece of box elder. Box elder is actually one of my favorite kinds of woods to carve spoons in. We have a lot of box elder in our yard, some down trees and branches and stuff. So got tons of it. I guess it's a form of maple, but it's, I think, a little softer. And it's got like red streaks. It's like white with red streaks in it. It's just beautiful wood, I think. It's one of my favorites for carving spoons. And, you know, all different woods are good, I think. I mean, don't use anything that has really wide grain. Ash, oak, those are a little harder to carve, and they have wider grain, and they're harder to carve, I think. So tight grain, I think birch is probably the best, or one of the best. Maple, and then I like box elder too. And I like cherry and walnut. And the other thing is, you don't have to cut the bowl very deep. I mean, look at a regular spoon. The bowl part of it is very shallow. Now you have to be a little bit deeper for a wood spoon. The whole thing about it, well, some people make them really shallow and really thin, but I have my spoons a little thicker just because they're more brittle than metal. But okay, I'm gonna call that good. How long did that take? Just a few minutes. It could be deeper, but it's plenty deep, I think. I might go a little deeper later, but I'm gonna go with that. And then now I'm gonna go to the next step. I'm making a mess here, and I'm kind of going at a different, I'm doing it towards the camera here more so you can see it better, and I'll have a bigger mess, but that's okay. Y'all are worth it. Okay, so I have the bowl cut, and that's, you can do it different ways. Some people do the bowl last. I do the bowl first because it's kind of the hardest part. You have more to grip, because now I'm going to take away a bunch of the wood, and then you have less to hold on to do the bowl. So okay, now the top is pretty much smooth. I'm not going to take a lot off of this part, but the back is obviously rough. I'm going to take a lot out of that. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to taper the spoon, the back of the spoon down, so that this part, that lip there, gets pretty skinny, because that's the part that's going to go in your mouth, and then it'll be wider on the handle. So what I do is just kind of put it away from me and just start taking wood off. And watch where you're doing it. And kind of have controlled cuts. Oh, that box elder is pretty. Those red streaks through it. Sometimes I'll go like this. I don't know if you can still see it down here, but I'll hold it down farther so it's away from my legs. And there's different ways to cut. A lot of times I'll do it this way. So I'm pulling it toward me, but I'm careful. I'm watching what I'm doing. I have my elbows tucked in, so it really can't go too far. And this way you can pull, and you can see, you can kind of get a deeper cut. Oh, I think I got some wood chips in my coffee. Oh well, fiber. So this is a nice, I think it's considered a hardwood because I think it's a kind of maple. But it cuts really nice, especially dry. And it cuts a little softer. I think it's softer than regular maple, hard maple. And having a sharp knife, you know, makes a difference too. So I'm taking a lot off the back and tapering it down to that part, where that part goes in your mouth. Well, the whole spoon part goes in your mouth, but okay, you can see that it's starting to get thinner. See, one side is starting to get thinner down there, and it's starting to taper down. It doesn't take a lot. the neat thing, this is handcrafted woodworking. There's no hard and fast rules. Make it however you want. And it's not about it being perfect. Matter of fact, I don't like woodworking to be perfect. The handcrafted element is little imperfections or whatever, differences, you know. I want it to be nice. I like to do my best. And sometimes when I'm all done, I'll really sand them good. See how it's getting tapered more? I'll really sand them good so it's nice and smooth. And sometimes I'll leave it a little rough so you have like the knife marks, there's a name for it. I don't know, those knife marks, those angles of knife marks look kind of neat. So sometimes I'll leave them. Okay, I think I'm going to call that good. So now I'm going to turn it around and do the back part of the handle. It's really rough. Yeah, there's marks on there and it's all jagged, and I'll let somebody smooth in just a minute. So then I start from the back of the bowl and go down, and you got to be careful at different angles, because if you'll go too deep sometimes. So just be careful not to go too deep and take too much off, because you can't put it back on. And I make them all different. Again, I want every single spoon to be different and unique. I give a lot away. I actually gave a whole bunch away for Christmas. Haven't sold any yet. Like to someday when I get better at it. But I want everyone to be different and unique. I mean, that only took a minute, and basically I got it, you know, smoothed out. I'm gonna take some more off now. I like to leave them thicker because then they're more heavy duty. You know, a lot of people have these, you know, handmade wooden spoons in their backpacks for hiking and bushcraft and camping and stuff, or even in a pocket, like a pocket spoon or something. That sounds weird. I said that to somebody one time, a pocket spoon? Who cares a spoon? I'm like, well, you never know. Especially when you hike and camp, you know, have a spoon for eating and stuff. Okay, so you can kind of see the back of the spoon and the back of the handle. I don't need to take any off the front of the handle because it's really smooth already. But what I'm going to do is I'm going to start taking the edge off. I'm going to take the edge off. You know, take that sharp edge off the front and the back. So I'm going to start with the back, and this you got to be really careful, because it can gouge in easy if you go too deep. So I'm just going to go like this, take little curls off, kind of that direction. And then this direction. See, now it started to dig in there. I don't know if you can see that, but it started to dig in more than I wanted to right there. So you kind of got to go both directions. And this is where I kind of hold the spoon against my chest here and kind of go like this. Because when you start taking those edges off, it really wants to dig in and take out more than you want. So really controlled cuts. Just kind of use your other hand to kind of take it off. And there's different angles. Sometimes you have to do really weird angles to get what you want. So now in the end, it's round, but I want to make it curved round. Okay, so you can kind of see I took the edge off the back a little bit. Sorry, I'm moving this kind of fast. So now I'm just gonna, this is a little different, kind of take the edge, the sharp edges off the end of the handle, and see it starts to come off in flakes and chips sometimes. So you gotta be careful not to take too much off, but you know, you're gonna sand, so it'll all kind of even out. And yeah, you can take off as much as you want, make it as rounded or you know, thin as you want. It's more brittle when they're thinner, but it is hardwood, so it's pretty strong anyway. But I just like to keep them a little thicker. I'm gonna hole in my glove. I have another pair of gloves I'll switch to. Okay, so now I'm gonna do the front. Same way, especially where the handle meets the spoon. You really gotta be careful there. You don't want to dig into the bowl part. It's really controlled cuts there to round that edge over. You know how I do that? Hope you can see this. Is that blurry? I think it's blurry. Come on, focus, focus, focus. Alright. But yeah, where the handle meets the bowl, it really likes to dig in and chip out. So you gotta be really careful. And just keep turning it different directions so you're only taking off what you want to take off. I'm not a professional. I'm always learning. I just like to share what I learn. As soon as I learn something, I like to share it with others. Won't be long. I'll be having mandolin lessons. I hardly know how to play. I'm learning to strum a little bit, and I can pick a couple of notes, but I already want to share what I'm learning with others. It's kind of fun. I guess that I love to teach, but I also love to learn. I never want to stop learning. Okay. See how it's turning out there? And I think I will take a little bit off the front. It's flat already, but just to take a little bit more off. And if you take more off too, that red really shows through. Again, this is a really cheap form of woodworking, and once you have a couple of knives and basic stuff, the wood's pretty much free. I mean, if you have trees in your yard, or so. I love it. You can do it anywhere. I like to sit outside. Okay. Alright. I'm going to call that good. So you could carve a lot more. You could do it a lot smoother, but I'm going to make this more of a rough spoon. More of a, you know, the rough look looks really nice and pretty. So I'm going to lightly sand it and then put some mineral oil on it. And we'll see how it looks. Okay. I'm getting shavings in my coffee, I think. Had some flavor. No. Okay. I'm just gonna lightly sand this. Sometimes I really sand it, and really it doesn't take much, and it gets pretty smooth. But I'm just gonna lightly sand it because I want to leave some of the rough look. Okay. And this is about a 6-inch spoon, maybe a little smaller. Yeah. So I'm just gonna lightly sand it. The biggest thing, the hardest thing to do is to sand the bowl part. It's really hard to get that smooth. You got to kind of just go in circles. And I usually don't sand in the truck because I don't like the dust in here. The shavings I can sweep out. I don't like to have the dust in here, but just do this for the video. I mean, you want to get the spoon part really smooth because it goes in your mouth. Obviously. Use it for eating. And I love making these little spoons, and you can use them for eating. I like to have it like and I actually, honestly, I make most of my spoons really small. 6 inches, 5 inches, 4 inches, 3 inches. And they are really good for like dips, you know, candy, and, you know, shredded cheese, any kind of food stuff that's in a bowl or something. Different kinds of dips and stuff. And great for coffee scoops. So there's all different ways you can make coffee scoops. I've made some like perfectly round, deep ones. And then some that are just like a spoon, just shallow, but it works for a coffee scoop. My favorite kind of spoon that I'm making now is a little smaller than this. It's only about that, the handle's only about, oh gosh, 2.5 inches long. But then the spoon part's really big. So it's a big spoon part, the bowl part, and then the handle's shorter, which is a nice little spoon for dips and great for coffee. I think I got, yeah, so this black walnut one's going to be like that. Really short handle, but a bigger bowl. Again, I'm not going to sand a lot. I just want to get the bowl really smooth. Then you do the back, kind of taper it down. It doesn't take long to get it really smooth, but I'm not going to get it really smooth. I'm going to leave it the rough look with the knife marks. I just want to get the jagged stuff off and any little slivers. Yeah, I'm almost done. It'd only take another 15 minutes and it would be totally smooth. It really doesn't take long. I use like 60 grit or 80 grit, and then I use like 120, and then I use like 220, and then 400 just to get it really smooth. That's if I'm doing a really smooth one. I'm not on this one. This is going to be a rougher one. A lot of it's just holding sandpaper and moving the spoon. You know, it doesn't take long to sand it. It really doesn't. And sometimes I'll say, oh, I want to make this a rough one, and then 10 minutes later it's like totally smooth. And then, oh, I guess it's not going to be a rough one. Woof. Okay. Yeah. I'm going to call that good. A more of a rough look spoon, but it's actually already pretty smooth. But see, you can kind of see the knife angles. There's a name for that. Keep forgetting what it's called. The facets. The facets. Yeah, the facets of the knife. Okay, now I'm going to get set up to put mineral oil on it, which is, actually, I'll just leave the camera on. It's not much of a setup. Okay, so yeah, it's kind of weird doing it in the truck here. It's just what I have. I guess I could do it in the back, but I just figure keep all the dust, shavings and stuff up here, and then I just sweep it out the door and stuff. Again, most of the time I do it at home. If I do it on the road, I usually do it outside. I set up a chair outside, and I set up a chair outside and carve outside, sand outside, put mineral oil on outside. So you can put different things on spoons and eating utensils, but best thing, I think, regular mineral oil. Just regular mineral oil. It's food safe, it's cheap, it seals the wood, and it makes it look pretty. I mean, you know. So, okay. So I want you to see what it looks like, and I put gloves on just so I don't get mineral oil on me, but it's just pure mineral oil. You don't need gloves. That's what it looks like. So it's going to look a little different with mineral oil. It really brings out the grain and the color, and it's really pretty. So I just have it sitting on my seat here, and I'm just, oh, pretty. I just pour a little on there. I have it laying on a paper towel between my legs here. A little table. And then, now, just rub the mineral oil in. Now I use way too much. Jeez. Do a few spoons with all that. And again, do it on a table or outside. I'm doing it in the front seat of my truck. Again, I have downtime. I'm sitting here waiting to get a door. carve a spoon while I'm waiting. Oh, that's pretty. How long did that take me? It really didn't take long. You know? I mean, yeah, I cut the log and scroll saw it at home, but that's like 15 minutes, you know? So start to finish, you could carve a spoon like this in half hour, you know? And I'll show you close up. The green of the box elder is so pretty. It's just one of my favorites. And I didn't spend a lot of time on the spoon. And it's beautiful. Yeah, looking in the sunlight, oh, it's just, this is gorgeous. Yeah, anyway, carved a spoon, sitting in the front seat of my truck. Anyway, thanks so much for watching. Yeah, give spoon carving a try. It's cheap, it's easy, you can do it anywhere, it's fun, it's creative, every single spoon is different. You can sell them, wonderful gifts, a useful item, make them out of all different kinds of woods, and it's just enjoyable and relaxing. So anyway, yeah, there you are. See you next time. Have a wonderful day.